Well, good morning to you, Mama V.
Good morning, Robert.
Yeah, good. I hope you had a great weekend. As I say, good morning to you. Also, good morning to you, Sally for Combat. You're, well, a worker. You're also very instrumental in the pharmaceutical industry in Boku. And please have a great morning, including your wife and family as well, Flora and the rest of the family. And also to you, Ben, and you're in the UK. Kujo to Formenu. You live in the UK. Very good friend of mine. Good morning to you as well. You're starting holidays today, so that's a good thing about you. You have all the time to rest. Mama V, I hope that you had a good time over the weekend. Yes, we have to do. And then also, I forgot, Robert Coleman, you're the chief executive for Wembley Sports Construction Limited. You know, you do the artificial turfs as well as the various centers for other conventional recreational activities. You're spearheading the initiative, one constituency, one turf. And talking about turf, we'll have sports as well.
Or is it Mr. Coleman's birthday today? Is it?
Just wishing.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's do the newspapers. Well, let's run you through the headlines in the various newspapers as we have them in the studio. On the front page of the Finder, public debts sustainable, but large external debts makes economy vulnerable. That's according to the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Addison. Also, media review to raise more revenues to complete government agenda. It is going to happen next week, Monday, if nothing changes, because initially it was supposed to be today. And then it was pushed forward.
Account 22nd looked familiar. Yeah,
we were supposed to be the mid-year review today. Rescoping of Cocoa roads and other road projects to commence. And then NLA VAG commits to address illegal lotto operations. That will be it for the Finder newspaper, Roland.
We have the daily graphic.
No, we don't have the daily graphic.
Oh, okay, we do? I think we do.
So you have the daily dispatch.
Okay. We have the daily. So it will be on your screens. But in the meantime, let's do the daily dispatch. Talking about dailies, we have the $200 million second chamber Wahala. Parliament denies results were rigged for anyone. And the minister said an order had been given for the Marine Drive project to be given to Ajayi architect Allergis. Then there's a countdown to the EPL. We know that the Premier League is always on. Coming August, they're now in the period of going through pre-season training and having friendlies, among others. We also do the daily guide and we move on to the next. The daily guide has on the front page, Mahama stokes fire in Afoko trial. Other stories dominating the front page of the daily guide. NDCA exposed in Amidu payments. Ekufuado will fix roads at Che, that's at Monche, and Nana tours Western Central regions, and Navy chases pirates. On the back page, we hope Bale leaves soon. And you know, Zinedine Zidane, the coach of Real Madrid, made some outstanding comments over the weekend on Bale. And
so Bale could leave any time or something like that?
Yeah, and you know, he was left out of the Real Madrid's 3-1
defeats,
International Champions Cup defeat to Bayern Munich, and Hazard featured in that game. And then he was asked questions after the match. He said, Bale did not play because he's very close to leaving. We hope he leaves soon. And everybody on Twitter was saying that, look, he wants to push the guy out indefinitely. And the thing is that we're told...
Did he bring him in?
No, he didn't play.
Okay.
He didn't play.
No. What I mean is, was he the person who brought him to Real Madrid? Maybe not?
Ancelotti? I think it was Ancelotti.
Okay.
And the thing is that in Real Madrid, the people who sign or who sanction for players to be signed, some players, it's not always a coach. Yeah, because they want the big name players, the Galacticos, for them to be able to sell jerseys.
But that's usually the problem, because if the manager didn't bring in the player and he feels he doesn't have a use or he doesn't know where to play him or how to play him,
it creates some distortion in the team. Yeah,
and if he didn't bring him in, is the CEO, the man up there who did, the person might end up not respecting you.
Yeah, and you know, he was an assistant to Ancelotti at the time. So, Renard, also on the back page of the Daily Guide, Renard quit as Morocco coach.
Yeah,
we're waiting for Kwesi Appiah to also quit.
So, you know, AFCON is over, but there are casualties.
Yeah.
In
There are
terms of
casualties all over. It's only Kwesi Appiah who is the last man standing. It's very surprising.
Well, but these people are leaving by themselves, because I know Renard announced his exit.
Yeah.
Was it on Twitter?
I think it's a socio-cultural thing. You know, we don't resign.
I mean, he's won twice. He's won the Africa Cup of Nations twice. When we heard that he was going to be coaching Morocco, the expectation was extremely high. And I'm sure he himself went with his white shirt to take the cup. But he exited quite early also. So, yeah, I mean, it's appropriate that he resigns. And a coach of his caliber with the achievement that he has would resign.
But we exited before they exited.
No, I mean, our standard is not his standard. Charlie, this is high-level standard. Man, he comes in and he himself expects to pick the cup. So if he doesn't, that's it.
Well,
this one, normalization will have to remind our coach that you said that you were going to bring the cup. That if you didn't bring the cup, then we'll let you go. Like,
there was some speculation on social media that he'd gone to sign a contract with Saudi Arabia. You know, that means more.
Kwesi Appiah?
No, very now. So.
Oh yeah, but I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good.
Should I do the Today newspaper?
Please do the
All right, Today newspaper front page. Blame yourself. NDC man tells Amidu. Story is advertised to be on page 3, but check this out on page 3. Ta-da! There's nothing there, so I couldn't share details of that with you. I want to believe it was picked from him on Newsfile. Still on the front page of the Today newspaper, though. University of Education, Winneba graduation postponed. There's a lot of concern there. IPPS rescind power shutdown decision. VAC Lotto set to address illegal Lotto operations. So there you have it. The headlines on the front page of the story. Sadly, though, you can't read details of 2 of the stories because they're supposed to be on page 3, and there's nothing on page 3, apparently. Well, I think even 3 of the front page headlines are supposed to be on page 3, and there's nothing on page 3. Interesting. Let's continue with the Ghanaian Times newspaper, though. Front page of the Times. President tours Western Central regions tomorrow. Also, one regional hospital director asked for alleged malfeasance. University of Ghana Endowment Fund. Government redeems 5 million Ghana cedis pledge. SDGs poverty declines to 2 or 23%? Details of that on page 7. Let's check out what's in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times, and then we'll quickly move to the back page of the paper. So center spread of the Times, here we go. Details of the president tour and the Wa Regional Hospital medical director, and then 60 women begin 6-week tractor operating course. That's good news. Back page of the paper. Farmers in Napdam loud 1V1D is which one, Roland?
One village, one dam.
Ah, okay, all right.
There's so many one that you've forgotten which of them. Let me keep reminding you. We have one constituency, one TEF. That's not official.
Ministry of Education.
There's one consensus, one ambulance. Oh, you don't know that one? Ambulance?
One consensus.
One constituency.
One ambulance.
Yes, one ambulance.
Okay.
That's supposed to be from the Ministry of Special Initiatives.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we have one constituency, one warehouse. There's that one as well.
Okay. And then?
More.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the...
You know the factory one. We haven't said the factory.
So let's go back to the Ghanaian Times, because there, what is there is there. You know, this one that he's talking about, the there is not there, so you can't go there. Ministry of Education urged to consider free sanitary pads for school girls, and we can't say this enough, can we? Activists and teachers in the Upper East region have called on the Ministry of Education to consider in its budgets the provision of free sanitary pads for schoolgirls from every poor home, or from very poor homes who could not afford to purchase the commodity during their menstrual periods. The stakeholders, including teachers and students, made the call at separate mentorship for adolescent girls forums at Nabdam, Talensi, Bongo, Kasena, Nankana Municipal, Boko West, and Bulsa South districts of the region. Details of the mentorship program, but this call is crucial. I don't know, it could also be the Ministry of Health, also, you know, adding it so that it will be much easier, so that girls will not have to worry when it is that time of the month for them. They don't have to choose between staying at home and going to school, just like other girls elsewhere in the country. All right, Roland, that will be it for the headlines that I have looked at in the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Even though we don't have the graphic in the studio, they are out, and we have to do them justice. So we already have the post down.
So wait,
it will be on your screens. It will be on your screen
for
viewers. Yeah. So this for your benefits. Just look at it. So the graphic, it says health alert: control chemical use in agriculture. Frimpong-Boateng warns. We also have UEW postpones congregation indefinitely. Charles Bissue exonerated in Anas's Galamsey expose. This follows investigations. Banking sector evolving, we're told. And those are the stories we have summarily on the front page of the Daily Graphic. Now let's get to the Gold Street business. The Gold Street business, Ghana records trade capital account surplus, instigate marginal appreciation of the city in July. It has an attached picture of the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta. We also have fiscal deficit exceed target in first 5 months. An attached picture of the Bank of Ghana governor is there, Dr. Ernest Addison. And TOR, according to the story, loses 186 million Ghana cedis in 4 months, despite 3.5 billion Ghana cedi capital injection from government. You also have what the market rates are, the forex market rates, and then what you need to know with the treasury bill rates, etc. We have the Economic Times, and it states that government misses fiscal deficit target. Ghana records high trade surplus at the same time. Debt stock reaches 200 billion. But we're told that we shouldn't get worried. And the Daily Statesman has on the front page, Parliament hits back at architect, releases assessment which betrays David Ajayi's rival. IMF stings Mahama. And we have budget review, lights on horizon for national projects, and fight climate change, keep Ghana green. Those are the stories we have. Mama V, your picks?
I'm reading the story in the, are you done with the headlines? In the Ghanaian Times. This is actually on page 3 about the driver in your districts, Ashaman districts. Is it a district?
Municipality.
Is your place a district?
No, municipality.
Municipality, okay. The driver has been jailed for 5 years for beating up a police officer, but the details is one that the police themselves will have to take a cue from. So this driver was apparently carelessly driving, and this police officer stopped him and jumped into his vehicle. That's classic, right? That's what the police people would do. Sat in the trotro and asked him to drive to the MTTD, and the driver went past the MTTD junction. So this police officer obviously sensed that there was danger coming, so he called for reinforcement, and we're told that this reinforcement team chased this driver and managed to stop him. But when he got down, he pulled a club and started hitting not only the police officer who was in his vehicle, but another officer as well. And so they arrested him and then took him to court. And that's where he got this 5-year sentence. But I'm saying that I hope the police would learn a lesson from this, because you don't stop someone and open their vehicle and sit in and say drive to the MTTD. They can drive you anywhere else that they want. In fact, they can do anything to you once you find yourself in their vehicle. I mean, can't we practice the system where I arrest you, I say that you are under arrest for doing blah, 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 blah. I take your license, I ask you to, or I give you, whatever I write and say, meet me in court or that kind of thing, instead of I jump in your car and say, let's go to MTTD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It surprises, as for example, those who tend to use the road and we have flouted the regulations. It's the way we tend to implement the law that's quite outstanding. And you get to think that for a police service which by ratio to the population is not equitable per what the United Nations standard is, that personnel on the road will have the time and sit in your car and say that accompany me to
let's go to the office.
My office, my station, leaving the work that he or she has to do on the road.
Yeah.
And the law even doesn't debar them from processing you in such a way that they give you whatever
That's
chase
it.
it is.
That's it. Where
and you
where
said
does
10 o'clock
where does
meet
the
me.
law say that when you stop me, if I have flouted some regulations, sit in my vehicle and let me drive you to
or
the police
ask me
station?
my license immediately.
Yeah.
And knowing
You
that
should have
the
a way.
person is on time, is on schedule, and if you not only sit in the license or you don't do that, but you don't sit in the car, but you even take possession of the person's license, knowing that that person is on schedule and behind time, that person is expected to come to you at some point in time. It doesn't make sense at all.
Or you say, you know, you are under arrest, so follow me. Not sit in my car, but say, let's drive to the police station, let me process you or something.
Not at all.
You know?
Not at all.
So I hope that they themselves will learn a lesson from this and not be excited because the driver got a 5-year jail sentence.
And look, we need to revolutionize the way we do policing, especially motor traffic policing. Because elsewhere, there's no way that you're going to get a parking ticket or you flout a regulation, you're supposed to pay a certain fine, and you abscond and go scot-free.
That one there's the bigger issue of our systems, right?
Because
so
we can't trace.
If somebody gave you
we
an
can't
address,
trace people.
If somebody gave you an address, and because of my own recent experience on the road in terms of, you know, somebody crashing into my vehicle, when you give the document, so some drivers don't have their license on them. The other alternative would be, oh, let me give you the document to the vehicle. But the police won't accept that because they've learnt their lessons the hard way. People give their documents and they will go to another police station elsewhere and go and say, oh, my documents got lost. And they will give them the police report. They go back to the DVLA and they can get new documents. Exactly. So they don't accept your car documents unless you're licensed. But I mean, our systems, we've got a very weak system, let's be honest. If I give you an address to my house, if I give you an address to my house, I mean, because of you know, changes, some people have adjusted, most people haven't. It will be difficult to trace someone.
That is why,
even in your municipality.
That is why the rate at which we had expected that the implementation of the National Insurance Identification Authority would be done is quite disappointing. Look at the state and the spate of registration. It's been very slow. It's been laborious. And I don't know whether you've registered. I haven't registered because I haven't
registered.
I don't have the time to go and spend 3 days just to get to register.
I made time.
And ultimately not get to collect my
I made time. And they told me to come and say, I don't know, if I get to the center at 3 p.m. and you can't register me, then I don't know what else.
It's quite disappointing.
So,
and if we want to do the best and become the more civilized or developed country that we're intending to be, then we have to make sure that we synchronize our systems. Yeah. We don't know where people live. For example, I know that you live at Pokwasi or near Pokwasi or wherever. But nobody knows where you live.
But the thing is that
because Pokwasi is big, you can come there and I'm looking for Mama. Who?
No, but that's why I'm saying that some people have adjusted well with the system, others haven't. I mean, there are lots of places where even if you give the address, it will be difficult to locate someone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well.
Yeah. So
any other stories?
Yes, there's a story on the front page of the Finder.
Okay.
And it says that public debt is sustainable. And we do know that
there's a but.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So we've had the assurances coming from Dr. Addison and says, but large external debt makes economy vulnerable. But that is where the news is. Public debt is sustainable, but large external debt makes economy vulnerable. But that is it. Because this is what it is. Currently, we use almost 60% of our revenue to pay only interest on loans. And we're talking about 21 billion in excess Ghana cedis. It's quite outstanding how, as a people, we locate about 7 billion Ghana cedis to capital expenditure. And we know that if we had expended more on what we need to build, infrastructure and whatever expenses, then people can have enough money in the economy. Then liquidity will flow. That is why at the micro level, like my people in Ashaman and etc. will say, when you go talk to them, they tell you, Sikeniho. Already we've had a banking crisis in which money is not available to the ordinary trader or somebody who is into startups or small scale business to have access to money to be able to ensure that they expend enough so that people can have access. It surprises me. The money that comes in is for oil, big industries, etc. How many people do they employ? Even all the issues about local content, and we keep saying this all the time, it's greatly linked to, you know, that phrase that we developed, the fundamentals of the economy are weak. And if the fundamentals of the economy are weak and we claim that we want to restructure it, we should see the effort. We should see what the timelines are, what the objectives are. At which point are we going to tell the Ghanaian people that we want to achieve this at this point in time? And by close of the next 10 years or 20 years, then we'll be more sustainable. And the fundamentals which were weak now will be more structured. But currently, Oh, you see, well, I won't say yeah, I think.
So it just reminds me of a post that Leila Jansi put up on Facebook, and this has to do with the, is it one constituency, 1 million one constituency? Is that it?
1 million.
You were reminding me, so it's 1 million one.
One constituency, $1 million.
Okay, so she said something which made a lot of sense. Do they come to us to say, out of the 1 million, this is what we're doing, like tick, check, that kind of thing. So at each point you bring me a receipt, and I know what you're doing with that money, because if it's for the constituencies, for all of us, and we want to keep track of what you're using the money for.
And I know there's a video of Hawa Kumsen replying to a comment. I believe she was appearing, or she was in Parliament, and so she was asked about.
So this was Ghana Web speaking to her.
Yes.
Outside.
I hope that we'll find it.
Outside the main chamber, but it was in Parliament.
Yes. In Parliament, and it was in response to a question asked about what type of dams were being built, and her response. I hope that we find that video. Her response was that, due to the allocations or the budget, this is the type of dam we want to get. But a dam is a dam. If you're buying a Versace shoe or a Gucci shoe, it is a Gucci shoe. You cannot say that a Gucci shoe, because it's being sold at 10 Ghana, you're going to get a Gucci shoe that is less.
Should I defend that?
Please defend.
Okay, you can go to China and get Gucci, which is not the original Gucci.
Gucci is Gucci. Gucci is Gucci. And so, you see, in 2017 and 2018, 2017 we're told that the allocations were not ready. 2018 they were ready, but the responses from Hawa Kumsen, who is the Minister for the Special Initiatives Ministry, said that the 1 million per constituency allocation was being used for other projects, which ultimately dovetails into other works of other ministries. So we have toilets that will be built, dams, as well as other initiatives out of the same 1 million to a constituency. But we have another ministry that is also supposed to be responsible for what her ministry is using the 1 million per constituency is. Indeed, we have to clarify, per the current forex rates, the dollar to the Ghana cedi, the $1 million per constituency should be hovering around 5.2 million. At the time, it was 4-point-something million. And she was still saying that they had used it for so and so. But we have to give some clarity to all the things that we want to do. If certain constituencies are supposed to receive 4.5 or 4.2 million or 5.5 or 5.2 million Ghana cedi, what do we use those ones for? And the ministry that are also supposed to make same provisions of amenities, for which we have the same $1 million being used for, what would they be doing? And we need some clarity on some of those ones.
Roland Walker.
Her response to the one village, one dam question, I think, was a bit untenable. It's as if...
Did you even understand it?
I did understand it.
Okay.
Only that I thought I thought that the way she communicated, she's basically saying that what we budgeted for is what we're going to get.
Because the money is not enough.
Exactly. But what you communicated to the people then it's not going to be what you're
I
going to do.
think even her demeanor, you know, communicating what she communicated. And then, do you know that later on there was a press release from a certain PRO of the ministry to clarify? I was like, the minister has spoken.
I've not read that. And I know we have to wrap up.
We have to go to my Joe online. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring you.
Okay,
We're hoping that we could bring you.
Because I was about to say
this
that.
clip for you to
I was
hear
about to say that I know that all of us don't speak well, but I think that if you know you want to hold public office and you will be communicating with people, then please learn how the words you use, the tone.
Listen, I don't think it's a matter of it's a matter of she not speaking. Okay, please let's watch, let's listen to her
before we go for a break.
Here's the minister. No, we're not taking a break now. Let's watch.
Yes. Then look at the cost: 250,000 Ghana cedi. 250,000 Ghana cedi. If you are constructing a meaningful dam, you don't need anything less than $3 million. $3 million, so not Ghana cedi. So if I'm constructing 250,000 Ghana dam, then what kind of dam are you expecting from me? I hope you're getting me. So that's the kind of dam we've promised the people.
You are saying that these dams are exactly what you promised.
Yeah, Mama, so you get my
I get you. No, but it's not a matter of not speaking well. It's just like when the senior minister spoke about Aishawa.
No.
See, you may not like it,
well.
but she spoke it.
She didn't do. She did
she's
a
told
disservice to government.
So she's told
if I was a communication consultant to her ministry, I'll tell you, oh, I know this is a problem.
Wait.
You see, the allocations
she's told you that you can't construct a meaningful dam.
It is the way she communicated that was derogatory. No, it's true.
Yeah. So
but what she's saying is the truth.
So what it means is that she's aware that what she's producing is terrible.
That's on the governance side.
No,
I'm talking from the communication side.
No, forget about the communication. She's telling us the truth. Let's face it. She's telling us that what she's producing is horrible. But under the circumstances, that's what she has. But you see, that is lack of patriotism. Because if listen, if you want to leave a legacy, if you've been put in a position where you want to leave a legacy, you will not produce something that is bad because you feel that is what has been allocated to you. You will raise your hand and you will make a case and you will say that because you want this dam to stay long for generations to come and enjoy, we have to do the right thing. But that is what we have in our public service. It's a shame. Stop talking about communication.
No, she didn't communicate.
We'll bring you spot. When we come back, when we come back, you see, we have to learn, and we have to learn from the Methodist Church of Ghana. So when we come back,
what did they do?
We will talk about a position and a stance that they've taken, which is quite different from something that the British Methodist Church is likely to do, because nothing is concrete yet. So we will talk about same-sex marriage. We'll talk about other issues that the church raised at the press briefing last week.
Okay, we're taking a break. But I wanted to add.
No, we're not taking a break. We're bringing you sports.
Okay, I wanted to add. Christianity was not introduced by our forefathers. It was introduced by the Europeans. If the Europeans say they want same-sex marriage, we should just follow.
Okay.
Through.
Interesting the angle that you're bringing in, but we'll put all that when we set in that prayer conversation. The head of the church is our guest after sports. Stay with us.